Hi, welcome back to Rust Roots and Rovers. This week I am going to be continuing with stripping all the rust off of the axle and all the associated mounting parts, treating them with some rust treatment and then painting them before putting them back on the car. Last video you saw I moved the ball joints, steering knuckles, brake calipers, discs, stripped everything off, all ready for what I'm about to start. The last video you would have seen, this is where I'm up to. So knuckles off, drive shafts are out, ball joints are removed both sides, and I'd given it a jet wash. So now today's challenge is to get the wire wheel on the angle grinder. I've got a couple of different ones and start attacking, getting as much of the loose off. The jet wash did quite a good job of getting a lot of the chunks off anyway. Turned the pressure right up on it and it just blasted it off, and there's a couple of little hard to reach bits that's going to be a problem, but I've got wire brushes for that. And as long as I can get the chunks off, that's all that matters. The rust treatment will do the rest, and then I'll be able to paint it. So I've just gone around with the wire brush, got as much off as I possibly can. Really hard to reach areas, and getting there as best I can. There are better ways to remove the rust. You could strip it all down, take the diff out and take it to a company to get it shot blasted. That would get rid of pretty much all of it. Get a lot more reward out of it for doing it yourself. Yeah, it's not going to be as cleaned up as blasting or dipping or whatever would be, but you've done it yourself, so that's the good thing. So now I've got I need to clean it up a bit. There's a bit of grease and stuff on there, so I got some isopropyl alcohol, so I can use that to wipe over everything, get rid of grease and oils and stuff. And then I'm going to use, got it found here somewhere, some rust treatment, which is Kurust by Hammerite. There are other stuff, there are other rust treatments available. I've just had good results with this particular stuff, so that's why I'm using it again. And then I got some Hammerite red oxide primer, which is anti-corrosion, and then just some standard black Hammerite paint to go over the top. So yeah, I will start doing all that. I'll get this cleaned down, sprayed up with the rust converter, and then that'll have to sit then for an hour or so whilst that does its job and dries off, and then just give it another quick wipe down and put the primer on. So hopefully by the end of the day it'll at least have the primer on. I'm not going to do the underside simply because when I take it back round to the car, there's more chances obviously the bottom getting scratched and stuff when I put it on, so I can paint that when it's on the car. When I get the top side and all the intricate parts inside of here all done first, and then I can put it on the car and paint the easy bottom bit. Also, I just wanted to say the importance of PPE. You probably saw in that video the amount of dust that was coming off when I was using the wire wheel. Obviously that is rust and dirt and other contaminants in there. You don't want to be breathing that in at all. So I've just got a painting mask, and the filters probably not good for painting anymore, but they will still filter the dust out, and so that stops me breathing all that in. I then wear my welding gauntlets and my leather apron and earplugs. Earplugs are a must for grinders and stuff, because it's really noisy and goes on for a long time and you don't want to damage your hearing. Long sleeves, long trousers, because the wire wheel is just basically a wire brush, just slightly more thicker wires, so you want to protect your arms and legs as much as you can, because you do get bits of it flying off that can cut you, stick in you. So yeah, just that one. Always wear the right PPE. Yeah, always wear the right PPE. Look after yourself. Okay, so that's the axle turned over and the last little few bits of the rust treatment done. So now I just have to wait for that to completely dry and before I can prime it. But in the meantime, I have lots of other stuff to do. So I've got shock absorber towers, which are quite crusty, not too bad inside, but definitely need the outsides, definitely need the wire wheel up and clean up and that. We've got the spring seats off both sides again, and get that bolt out of there. It's the same on both of them. Same process, wire wheel, rust treat, paint, that lot, and then same for both sides. I've got a steering knuckle, the caliper carrier, and the caliper itself. I do have new dust boots and seals for the caliper, so I'll leave those in and I can wire wheel, it doesn't matter if I damage them. The brake pads I said were okay. Yeah, there's plenty of life left in those. They will get a clean up though, because that's quite I do have a new set of pads. I may put the new pads in yet, I don't know. I think the discs are still okay. So yeah, so I've got all that to do, and I have kept all of the relevant parts from each side together. So even though they look the same, they are handed, because as you can see, I'll put that one there, that one there, they are mirror images of them. The long arms there, like short arms on the sides. So they are handed, so they have to go back on the right side. So I've kept the calipers, caliper carriers, and the steering knuckles on the same all together, so I know which side they come off. Because even if you forget which side these come off, the caliper can only go on one side as well, and that's dictated by the brake pipe and your bleed nipple. So the bleed nipple, that bit there, will always go at the top, because obviously air will rise to the top, and then that's how you get all the air out, and it'll fill up with fluid from the bottom. That way you'll know which side that goes on, and then that'll coincide with those parts. So make sure you keep all the parts together, and it just makes reassembly a lot easier. I do have some rounded bolts to take out of these, the old dust shields, rotted away. So I've got 3 on there to take out, and just 1 on this one. I have got new bolts. They'll go in, I think they're just an M6 standard metric thread. Okay, so that's that lot all mainly cleaned up. Come up alright actually. So I will need to clean up the guide pin holes, just to make sure there's no debris in there on both of them. But it's all the boots for the wire wheel. But like I said, I've got new seals and dust boots for those anyway. The spring seats come up really well, so do the shock towers. The steering knuckles need a little bit in the corners. I have got these wire bits for the drill, but I need to wait for my batteries to charge, because like anyone who's got a cordless battery, you never keep the batteries charged. Usual mistake, but never mind. I can get on with other bits and pieces in the meantime. All that lot's pretty much at the same state. So now all I need to do is clean the dust off of that, and I can give that a coat of paint, and then, well, coat of primer. That's what I was going to do. The primer I've got. So it is just a paint brush on, and it's just a Hammerite red oxide primer. Okay, so now I've got batteries charged, and I've got the wire attachment in my drill. It's time to do the last little bits, which is in all the corners with that wire piece, and then get them rust treated, and I think that's going to be it, as I am rapidly losing the light. So yeah, I will crack on with that, get that down as quick as possible, get the rust treatment on. so that's the rust treatment done, and I have officially lost the light, but I managed to get all the parts covered with the rust treatment. So first thing tomorrow, I will be able to paint them in the primer. All the maintenance surfaces won't be painted. They'll just have like the hub seals on. That'll just have a layer of grease on. Okay, that's the priming done on most of the parts, well, on all of the parts, apart from the calipers, of course. I'm going to have to go and buy some more, because I haven't quite got enough to do the bottoms, because obviously I don't want it to stick to the cardboard, so I've only done the top sections and left the bits that are touching the cardboard unpainted. So once that's dry, I can turn it over and paint the rest of it. But I need to get some more primer, so a trip out to do that. But before I go out, I'm going to put the first coat of black on the axle, because I can do that now because I've got plenty of black. And what I've got is just a Hammerite Director Rust metal paint. It's smooth black. It could have gone straight on to the rust treatment, but putting the primer on just gives that extra little bit of corrosion resistance. Will it make it last any longer? Possibly, but we'll just see. It's going to last a lot longer than it has already, so wow. Yeah, so we'll just see how it goes. By the time I come back, painted that, by the time I come back with the other tin of primer, these parts will be ready to paint. Let's flip over and paint the bottom, and then a second coat on the axle, and then hopefully this afternoon I could start looking at putting the ball joints back in and putting it back on the car. Oh no, I need to wire wheel the chassis first. So once this is painted, ball joints in, and then go and work on the chassis. So it'll be later in the week that this will be going back on the car. That's the first coat of black, and it's not completely covered because I prefer to do thinner coats rather than one thick coat. So a couple of spots obviously have got better coverage than others, but a second coat I knew I was going to have to do anyway, so I wasn't overly worried at all. But it is starting to look a lot better than what I started with. And with this weather we're having today, it shouldn't take long for that to dry and be ready for its second coat. The primered parts are pretty much, yeah, a bit soft, but they won't take long, and they will I'll be able to get the rest of those on. But I need to go and buy another tin of primer, so I'm going to go and do that now. Got a few other bits to pick up for the garden, and then I'll be back on this about an hour or so. that's the second coat of black on the top side of the axle and all the awkward spots. Hello mate. Just going to make sure I'm doing it right. I haven't done the very bottom. I've done the bottom on the knuckles, but not the rest of it, simply so when I put it back into place I've got somewhere I can put the jack without damaging paintwork. But if I need to do touch-ups, then it's not the end of the world. There's not going to be that many to do if I do damage it. The rest of the parts are all covered with the primer. No, they're not. I missed one. I've missed one. So I'll do that off camera because my battery's about to die on my phone. But the rest of the bits are all done. Just that to do. I haven't been able to do much this week, mainly because of the weather. It's been chucking it down. So just got home from work and I'm going to attempt to press in the new ball joints into the axle now it's been painted. So I'll be using the same kit that I used to press them out to press them back in. But first of all, what I'm going to be doing is, because in the hole is untreated steel, so I'm just got some fine emery paper, just some 400 grit, and just going to clean it out, get rid of any paint that's got in runs or whatever, and then make sure there's no surface rust and stuff in there. Then I will be coating the inside and the ball joint. There is grease in there, but it's copper grease, and anyone who's used copper grease knows that it goes absolutely everywhere. So tub of grease, bit of grease on the ball joint, bit of grease in the housing, and then press them in. I probably will damage the paint around where the ball joint goes in, but I can touch that up afterwards once it's on the car. I've still got the bottom to paint, so I'll just work with that. So first things first, I'm going to clean out the axle side and then grease them up, find out what size cups and everything I need off the kit to press them in. So you just need a small piece of emery paper, and you're not trying to remove any steel or anything, it's just cleaning the surface up. So then, if you remember, the ball joints themselves are actually different. So you can see this one's got a much bigger seat on it. Height-wise, pretty much the same, but that's the bottom one, and that's the top one. You can get them mixed up, and they will press in to the wrong side, and you don't want that to happen because you got a hassle then trying to press out a new ball joint without damaging it, because they will go in. So that one goes in from the bottom, and that one goes in from the top. So I'll do the bottom one first, and then see how I get on with that. So I'll have to move the camera plate on the bottom, the ball joint, a bit of grease on, top plate here to accept the pin, and then just turn it and it should start going in, hopefully. I'll just keep working it until it's all the way in. second one in. It's taken a bit of time, a bit longer than I anticipated. Right, then the top one is going to be a little bit different. Let's see if I can. There we go. Oh, so the top one, press in from the top, obviously. Well, say obvious. You've never done it, it's not obvious. So it's like that. And what we can do this side is we can get the cup again. We can put it on there. So we've got something nice and solid to press on. And then we just need the receiver. The same one again. In there. But because of the shape of it, it's gonna play up again. And see how far it goes through. Literally just. So the receiver is literally there just to space it out. So as long as the hole lines up with the pin, there shouldn't be any damage. So start off with the grease. There we go, 2 ball joints in. Like I said, there's definitely going to be a bit of damage to clean up, but ball joints in, which, to be fair, that's touching, that says actually went not as easy as I was hoping, but easy enough. I think I have damaged the boot. Yeah, I've damaged the boot. Of course I have. And oh yeah, okay. So I've split the top boot, which not a problem. You can buy replacement boots for them. So I'll end up doing that. It's a brand new ball joint. The bottom one's okay. So the ball joint itself will be fine. It'll just be a new dust boot. So I'll buy a full set, just so if I have to change boots in the future, or if I damage, well, when I damage the one on the other side. So there we go. Lots of little touch-ups to do, but nothing I can't do. Right, well, this has been an insanely long video just to put 2 ball joints in. So now you get an idea of how long it's going to take. So when I do the other 2, I will do them on the car, and so the axle definitely doesn't move around, and I'll be able to do the touch-ups and everything. Right, well, that's it for this one. So I will catch you on the next one, which will more than likely be, oh, that's it, I'm sorting the calipers out, but I'm doing something a bit special with those. I'm not gonna do them the same as the axle. Let's put it that way. I'm gonna do something a little bit different, but you'll wait and see on those on the next video.